If you like this podcast, then consider checking out the other great podcasts at metalsharkstudio.blogspot.com.
Welcome to a Skyrim Addict podcast where I will discuss my adventures and misadventures through Skyrim. Join me. Add your stories, add your tales. Let's get into this thing. Hello. Skyrim Addict podcast, episode 58. Still doing Iron Man, Iron Warrior guy. I'm through a solid chunk of the main quest. I'm about to fly off to that place before you go to Sovngarde that I can't remember the name of offhand. We have to defeat the Dragon Priest and go through the portal, but that's about where I'm up to. But I'm not going to start there. Go through that in a bit. So Jeff joined the Facebook group just this week, and he had a good post, or terrific post, and it was feedback worthy-ish. So I definitely wanted to read it because it was awesome and long and worth reading. So he recently found the podcast. It's only been about a week or so. He listened to the first 20 episodes. Thankfully, those first episodes were short, so you could do that. Skyrim came out so long ago, but he's still addicted to it all, and he wanted to share his favorite Skyrim story of all time. So his first playthrough, he decided to go Nord, like a lot of people. He was a wide-eyed adventurer, ready to tackle the world, and he set his sights on the first little village after the harrowing escape of Helgen, and that would be Riverwood. He quickly made good with the locals, and even helped a friendly elf named Fendal. I always say that name wrong. Win affections of a local store clerk. It was in that first meeting, though, that I found my true love. She laughed at my jokes, bent over backwards to sell me anything I could possibly need. She practically wouldn't stop gushing over my heroism when it came to returning an ornate little golden claw to her family shop. Oh, I think I know where he's going there, because I think we've all felt that a little bit. I think we've all been there. I sprung into action and quickly found how to marry someone in Skyrim. The ring was purchased, and she said yes. Talos be praised. The wedding was quickly arranged for the next morning. We all invited friends and family to the wedding, and were happy to see everyone. Then he walked in the door. Fendal. He never mentioned it, but I know he hated me for stealing his woman. But hey, if he can be the bigger man and come to the wedding, I'll let bygones be bygones. After the wedding, we moved to my house in Whiterun. Things were great at first. She was always happy to see me return from an adventure. All I had to do was say the word, and she instantly baked me a pie or a nice home-cooked meal. We didn't have much else to talk about. She'd constantly bring up that damned golden claw. So much so that it drove me out of the house, and I would adventure constantly. I came home one day to Whiterun, mind you, and as I opened the door, who was leaving my house? That rat bastard Fendal. She said it was nothing. He was in town looking for a new bow and stopped by to say hi. Then it happened again. Parenthetical here. This truly did happen. Fendal did show up in Whiterun. That is weird. I've never seen him in Whiterun. I yelled and yelled. How could she do this to me? I checked her pockets, and there it was, the original note from Fendal, professing his love for her all these months ago in Riverwood. I took the note and dropped it into the hearth where it still burns to this day. I had really recently received a quest from a certain Daedric lord named Boethia. He wanted me to provide a sacrificial lamb. I knew just the elf. That is a perfect ending for a perfect character. Yeah, when you get there and she's so friendly to you in the shop, it's hard to resist, I got to admit. It's definitely hard to resist. So, so with my Iron character, I've been going along, playing and such. I'm gonna pull up a little screen share here of my perks and stuff. So still working mostly on one hand and all. I think I'm level 36 now. Yeah, level 36. Not really much in destruction. Restoration's up to 35. That's just from healing myself. Nothing. I don't have any perks into it. Alterations 34 just for using it. Enchanting, I'm busting my way to 100. I'm at 89 right now. I'm 5 of 5 at the bottom. I'm up to Corpus Enchanter in the middle there. My next one is the double enchants, and that's really my goal. I think before I had the Sovereign Guard, I want the double enchants, so I'm going to have to do a little work before then. Smithing's at 58. I want to get that to 60 so I can do the double perks to get to Arcane Enchanting, or the 2 perks, I should say. I would think my heavy armor would be higher, but it's not. It's only 48 for some reason. I'm like, I could beat up a lot. You know what? I do a lot of sneaking, though. But the dragons, I think it would. There's no sneaking on the dragons when it's just you, you know? So I would think that would definitely help out, but not building up as fast as I thought it would. Block, I don't block, so it doesn't matter. Two-handed, don't use two-handed, obviously. One-handed is at 50. I would think this would be higher, but I think I'm getting most of my damage from the enchantments, which I think I brought that up last time. So I think that's what's slowing me down on building this up. So maybe I need to get some double daggers that are unenchanted for lower level opponents. So I build up that damage faster. I don't know. That might be a strategy. I'm gonna have to look and see if that helps me do things quicker through the one-handed tree. I just added Dual Flurry, the second one, I believe, right now, as a matter of fact. But other than that, I only have a couple basic perks because I'm not leveled up enough on this one yet, for some reason. And I would think I'd be leveled up much higher, considering that's all I use. I've started using some illusion and conjuration, as I said last week. The illusion, mostly muffle, still fury I'm using. Archery, obviously not using. Light armor, not using. But yeah, illusion-wise, still just using the fury. A little bit of calm here and there. And muffle, obviously, tons. And conjuration, I have a familiar and a flame Atronak I've been using. I used the flame in Mizcalift. I was going through Mizcalift. I had a person I had to kill in there for Dark Brotherhood. And I use the Flame Atronak quite a bit in there just to troll through there, just as something different. Just because I know I'm going to need something to, as I get further along in the main quest and into Dragonborn and all. So I definitely wanted to get some conjuration going for that. Sneak, I'm level 100. I got the 15 times, backstab and all that. I don't know if I'm going to put anything else into that. I don't really need it. I got the pressure plates and all that. Alchemy, I only have 1 perk in that. I might put a little more in that just to make some stronger potions. And illusion, I have all the way up to the quiet casting. But I'd like to put. I definitely got to start putting something into conjuration to build that up a little bit because my flame atronachs are just not strong enough at this point. So that's kind of a minor issue, but I definitely need to get them stronger as I go along in these battles and then continue on into Dragonborn. But yeah, so basically what I decided to do was where I'm at right now is I have completed all the way up to capturing Odoving and letting him go. And he's waiting to fly me off to Skull Dolphin. And I'm like, I'm not quite ready yet in the Jarl Mountains. The Jarl Mountains. You may know those from Oblivion. But I'm not quite ready yet. My whole strategy was I needed to get some good followers, i.e. non-human. So I wanted to go through I did go through Dark Brotherhood. I completed that because I wanted to get Shadowmere. Because Shadowmere, when you're battling dragons, is really, really good. So that's a big plus. having Shadowmere, because I've run across a couple, obviously and I also have Dragon Red now, which makes it a lot easier. But so Dark Brotherhood wise, most of it uneventful. Went through it pretty high sneak level, so I went through it pretty quickly. The princess where she's getting married and you have to kill her. I think it's a princess, whatever she is. That went pretty easily, actually. I found a perch like directly across from her, and nobody saw me. Like I jumped off the wall and onto this like little ledge by a window, and I sat there. I threw some fury at her. Her husband killed her, and nobody even saw me. And I just walked right out of town. So, like the guy who helps you, I forget his name is the Argonian. I was just like, all right, whatever, dude. I just left because nobody even knew I did it. So that went well. Obviously, I killed the orc and became the gourmet, and then went and killed the wrong emperor, and then went and killed the right emperor. When you kill the emperor, that's pretty cool how he's like, oh, I know you're here for me, blah, 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 and all that. So I always like to enchant his clothing, however. I also took the wedding dress. I was going to enchant that as well, but not wearing any of those. For when I snuck through, it got through really easy because a really high level sneak. I have some sneak rings and necklaces and boots and stuff. So my sneaking's really strong. So I was able to get through the boat pretty easily to get to the real emperor and kill him. I also killed Armand afterwards for the emperor because I didn't like that fucker anyway. Sorry, something popped up on my screen there. But yeah, so that was my plan. I wanted to get a little higher level. So I decided to go through Dark Brotherhood, and I knew I would get Shadowmere, which is helpful. And it's certainly helpful when you get over encumbered. I did keep Cicero alive. I didn't kill him. So I may use him as a follower as well at some point. And good old Barbas is hanging out there on the road still. So I can always grab him and just run around with all three of them and do whatever I want. But otherwise, it's just me, some iron daggers. Whenever I battle dragons, I pretty much go straight iron daggers and don't even conjure because I just don't have time because I need to save that. Need to save that magicka for healing myself. But that's kind of strategically how I'm going at it at this point. Also, I have to get back to Sindis for the discerning the transmundane with the Elder Scroll. I got all the blood for him, and Hermaeus Mora is going to have me end him soon. So I figured that would be a good way to transition into the Dragonborn DLC. So I'll do that and then head over there and start that all up. But I don't think I'm going to do Forsworn or any of that stuff right now. I may save this character if I will save this character if Andrew would be okay with it, and I'll use it for the Civil War. And instead of having a third character, it's hard for me to manage three characters. So I'll probably go back to playing Orange Julius, Wandering the Wilderness, after I complete Dragonborn, and then use this character to go through the Civil War quests, which will be coming up soon on the Round Table. And they just recorded an episode last night, which should be up next week. But other than that, that's pretty much where I'm sitting with it. I'm trying to figure out how well the double daggers are going to handle the Alduin thing. That's going to be tough. When I battled him on top of the mountain, so basically, I think I forget where I left off last time. But anyway, I met up with. Let's see if I can remember. I'll start with the truce. So anyway, you get to the point where you need to get the warring factions together so they can call truce, so you can help out both cities. So you go up to the Greybeards because Parthenax is like, they're like, oh, Parthenax said it was okay, so we'll do it. Otherwise, we wouldn't do anything because we don't care if the world burns to death. And then the freaking Blades show up. And then you got to convince Ulfric and Balgruuf to get up there. Or not Balgruuf, Tullius to get up there, and it's just like, ugh. And then somebody from the Thalmor shows up. So nobody's happy. Everybody's crying, and you have to balance that all out. And then, of course, Esbern gets up and gives a big speech and wants you to kill Parthenax afterwards, and you're like, no, get fucked. I'm not doing it. So that's kind of where I think that's about where I left off, around there anyway. So anyway, I did the whole thing with Parthenax, obviously reading the Elder Scroll at the time rift, and then Alduin comes, you got to battle him, you learn Dragonrend from watching, you're like seeing the past, and they're battling Alduin, and then you see the guy who sends him into the future, I guess, with the Elder Scroll. You learn the Dragonrend shout, which is immensely helpful when you're battling dragons because it really cuts the time down in battling dragons. But I always like Parthenax, so I don't kill him. I went up and grabbed the notched pickaxe as well. So, but yeah, so I did all that. Obviously, then he's like, then you learn how to call Odahviing. So I call him at Dragon's Reach, and then Dragonrend him, and he comes in and he puts the thing down. So anyway, I got him. He's locked down in Dragon's Reach, and it was while we were recording last night. So I talked to him, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'll let you go. And then I got distracted, and I was just standing there. And all of a sudden I hear, what are you doing? And apparently a guard was cutting off like his scales in the back. And he screams and shoots fire. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I got to go release this guy. I completely forgot. So if you sit there for a while and let Odahviing just sit there, one of the dopey guards from Whiterun will cut off some of his scales and try and get some of his blood too. And Odahviing doesn't really like that very much. Just a heads up. So that kind of happened. Other than that, that's pretty much where I'm sitting with this playthrough right now. It's I'm liking it. It's different for me. It's sorry, choking here. It makes me battle up close much more often. I did the Pale Lady quest, which I recorded, and I'm so sneaky that I just took the sword and put it back on the thing. I didn't even have to battle her. So that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think what other little battles I had done, other minor quests. I've been kind of going along, just trying to build up everything. I redid my armor. I need, but until I can get the double perks, I'm not going to continue on to Sovngarde. Just I don't feel strong enough. So I got to go up 10 more levels for that, which shouldn't take me long. Enchanting a bunch of jewelry. I just got to go get some soul gems. Maybe I'll go troll Blackreach or something. That's always a good place to get some soul gems. Yeah, I went to Mizkalift because I had to kill that whatever he is, mage down there for the Dark Brotherhood. And I got a lot of soul gems in there from the Dwemer bots. And then I filled them with the Falmer because they're blind, so they're easy to kill, which is a shame, but it's true. I guess I could hop over to what's that place? Solstheim. Before I like to keep them in line though. I like to keep the quests in line, so I think I'll just keep them in order instead of hopping over there and then hopping back. Maybe I'll get into the Thieves Guild a little bit since I got to deal with them anyway to help rebuild the Dawnstar Sanctuary. So I've already been down there. I already got that opened up, so I'll probably head down there and start up on the Thieves Guild a little bit. I'm going to save the companions for when I do the Civil War, so with this character. But I'm sure I got a million other quests sitting there that I'll hop into in the meantime. But that's it's going to be a short one. That's all I got. If you have any feedback or anything, send it to skyrimaticpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join in on the roundtable, Skyrim Roundtable at gmail.com. Check out the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Skyrimatic Podcast, maybe, or just search it. It should pop up. Also, there's the YouTube channel. Well, this is on YouTube right now. I don't know the actual URL for the channel. If you search a Skyrim Addict, you should find it. You'll see the little artwork thing. If you search it under channels, you should find it pretty simply. And that's all I got this week. This will be out a little later today, and then a roundtable will be out next week. And I'm going to go get a drink before I choke on my dry throat. Later, everyone.
Metal Shark Studio.